to read your own obituary, how would you feel? Is that a pleasure or is that a pain? Would you make adjustment how you are living? Or are you going to continue because that is the life that you wanted to live? Hello, Toastmasters, guests, friends. Good evening.
Good evening.
What I would share tonight is a fascinating story when I had a chance to visit my mom last weekend. My stepdad passed away way back in February this year. And last Sunday, I had a chance to went to a cemetery. If you notice, in a cemetery, you see a lot of tombstones. Different sizes, different colors. I guess everyone has been in the cemetery, right?
Yeah.
Can you look at the person in your right side and ask, have you ever been to the cemetery? So, if you notice, I have here a picture of a tombstone. It's the tombstone of Dolphy. And it says here, Rodolfo Vera Quizon Dolphy King Comedy. If you notice, there's a date, July 25, 1928. Then the other side has July 10, 2012. When we went to the cemetery, we always noticed the tombstone, but we never really noticed the dash that is in the tombstone. And this is something as small that we didn't pay attention, but if you really take the time, that's really how we live our life. What is the impact that you can create people? How they would remember you. So what I would share tonight is 3 stories of different people who created a legacy. The first story is the story of a man named James. James grew up in a broken family. At the age of 19, he was in prison. He served in prison for 10 years, and he had a very rare opportunity that on the age of 25, he meet his dad. And what's captivating about the story of James, that his dad was also incarcerated on the same prison. And they talk about, what cell are you in? And his dad, oh, I'm in block C. And James said, I was in the same cell. I was also in block C. What his dad mentioned, that when I started in prison, I was in block B. But our project is to create that block C. And James was in awe that his dad is part of the people who created the cell where he was in. So the legacy of his dad is the prison that he created. When I was doing a research about this topic, I really wanted to dig deeper. What is the legacy that people would remember? And I came to the second story, which is the story of Alfred Nobel. Everyone is familiar of the Nobel Prize Award, right? Nobel Prize Award. Alfred Nobel came from a very affluent family in Europe, and they were famous because of dynamite. They earned a fortune during the war when they created dynamite. But he had a very rare opportunity that there was an accident that happened, and unfortunately, the headline in the newspaper said, the merchant of death is already dead. But the funny thing about this story is Alfred Nobel is still alive. After that incident, he had a very deep reflection that is this the story that I want people to remember me? So he made a very crucial decision that he wanted to be remembered different. He donated a big sum of his fortune, and then it started the Nobel Prize Award. Another story that I really wanted to end up, which is the last one, is really a story of an Olympian who is a professional swimmer. It happened in 1924 in California, and he was competing in the National Olympic. It took 6 weeks for them to travel from the US to Europe to finish the Olympic. But unfortunately, on those days, it is the same month that her wife would deliver their first baby. So he decided, would I go to the Olympic or would I be there together with my wife for my first kid? He decided to stay with her wife, and after 20 years, he received a telegram from his kid, from his son, who said, "Dad, thank you for waiting for the last 25 years. I was able to get the gold medal for the swimming competition." If you notice, we heard 3 people who created the legacy of a prison, who created a legacy on how they're able to remember. And what I learned on the last weekend when I visited my dad, that we have the opportunity to invest in people, because in that way they would be able to remember us. I guess if there's one message that I would end tonight, it's just very simple. The life we live today is the legacy that we live tomorrow. Toastmaster.
Okay, no more podium.